Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Happy November. Today is November 1st. I'm going to try to get this video up today and just do a quick run through with you of my November setup. I should say hello if you're new here. My name is Lita, and if you love all things involving journals, sketchbooks, and stationery, ink, paper, and scissors, then you are in the right place. Stick around and let's get to know each other. So without further ado, let me get right into what I am using and what I am doing and my setup for November. So I am still in my Hobonichi cover. It's A5. It is in the chocolate color, and I have just today I have put on my new cover on cover. This is a design cover called Eric. Let me make sure I'm in screen. It is by Tan. And something I didn't realize when I initially bought this is, and I can't show it to you today, the weather down here in Florida is kind of cloudy and I'm not getting good light in my room, so I'm doing the best I can here. But something I discovered this morning is that there is like gold foil around some of these little doodles. So Eric is a character by Tan that he is a leaf. And he's doing some of my favorite things, like involved with coffee and tea. He is on little leaves. He appears to be reading, which I love. So the little foil, like there's on this paper that he's reading, there's foil around this dish that he's at. There's some foil. So there's some little foil highlights. If you're new to Hobonichi products like I was, something that I knew about, that I had researched it, was these design covers that they do not have in the back here access to get into a pocket that is on the back of the cover. So the first month I used a clear cover on cover that did have the zip here, and I found that so far as of yet I'm not really utilizing this back pocket. So I was totally fine with, hey, let's jazz up my cover this month and put Eric the leaf on there, and I'm pretty happy with that. So inside, I'm just using these spaces so far for holding my two little stencils that I've got for Hobonichi, and I'm using the stencils quite a bit, so I'm happy with those purchases. Plus, I also have this one that's for the weeks, which I use occasionally, but not as much so far. For my A5, I'm using these. And yeah, I have some little stickers and whatnot in these pockets down here. So I'm just using that. And oh, today is November 1st, so in a few days we will be having our presidential election. So I have my gear up to vote and want to encourage all of you to go out and vote. So in November, let's jump right to it. So this is my Hobonichi cover, and I have a cover on cover, but inside I have a Stalogy A5 half-year edition. So here is my setup. I've already got it all done. Kind of what I want to talk about today, and like I said, I don't want this to be a long video. I want it to be very short. Is first, let me just go ahead and show you what I've done. In the past couple of months, I have been printing out stock images to use to kind of divide where 1 month starts and where one ends and where one starts. And I think that's pretty common in the journaling community. So this month, instead of picking up a stock photo, back on October 30th, I had gone to Oak Park, which is here in Florida, very close to where I live. I had discovered that there is the largest live oak tree in Florida at this park. So I went and took a drive out there, but it was midday, so the lighting wasn't the best. So this photo is not the best photo, but it's the one I have. So I took this photo. It turns out this tree is 79 feet high, has a circumference here of 29 feet, and the crown is 154 feet, an average. So it's a pretty amazing tree, and I will be going back to that park because it's very close to where I live, and taking my mother and going and enjoying ourselves at a picnic table or getting a blanket and hanging out under the tree and taking a little tree bath, if you know what that is. A tree bath doesn't involve water. It's just, Yeah, just look it up, tree baths. But so that's what I've used to divide my page. And this month I've taken it one step farther. And I want to encourage you, if you're one of those people that's trying to figure out a way to cut down the amount of time it takes you to do your monthly layouts, because a lot of these doodles and designs and everything is great and fine, but sometimes you just really want to make it simple, but you still want to make it beautiful. And using some of your own images to cut and paste in and use as your divider from the beginning and ending of one month is a really great way to do it. So this photo is special to me because I love nature, and I thought this tree was amazing. And so, yeah, I've enjoyed making that my cover for November. I'm still doing the 2-page calendar spread in my A5 Stalogy here. And this month, though, I'm bringing back using my squares for something positive. In the past, my today is a great day too, and then filling in the squares with that. I may do that. I may put a word that's positive, that has some type of affirmation or some type of, empowerment for myself. Or I may just use some stickers here and there, whatever pleases me, but something that brings me some positivity or some joy. I'm going to be using my calendar like that, and I'm going to go back to this dedicated space over here to being for special dates, dates of events, dates of appointments, or birthdays, things like that. I will keep over here. My life is much simpler, not busy, so I don't need a huge amount of space for appointments. What I do need, though, is a lot more positive energy in my life and a lot of positive affirmations, because just like everyone else, these times are emotionally challenging, and how we feel emotionally is going to affect how we feel physically. So I'm carrying on, as I say, with my nature type theme. So I've cut these little sticker packets that I have been over the past couple months getting at places like Michael's and Hobby Lobby. I knew I was going to be getting into the outdoors and into nature. So, every once in a while, these large chain stores put out like 40 or 50% off stickers, and so I've picked up quite a few of these. If you're able to and you can afford it, there's a lot of really wonderful cottage style businesses online that maybe you want to go to Etsy and support some of these places. But for me, it was just easiest, and I needed, like I said, for me, a big part of what I've been doing with my journaling is trying to do a bit of simplifying. So as much as I enjoy using Stalogy, and as much as in the past I've enjoyed using blank notebooks and creating my own spread, I'm looking forward to giving the Hobonichi a try, because having the layout already set up for me is going to be something that's I feel is going to be good, and at least it's worth me taking a chance at exploring it and investing a few dollars in it to explore it. But yeah, that's my rant about this, because if you can afford those cottage businesses, that means, the small businesses online on Etsy, especially with the holidays coming up, I'm sure that a lot of them will be having sales. I totally support that. And I think that is awesome. But for me, the simplicity of just being able to go down the street and use a 50% off coupon to buy one of these or a couple of these, if they had a sale on stickers, turned out to be what was best for me. And in some ways, that is a sense of self-care. It's like, I like to support small cottage businesses, but at the same time, I also have to do what's best for me, and simplifying my life is what is best for me right now. So yeah, I used some of these stickers. As a matter of fact, it was from this sheet. And let's go on an adventure, put a little globe, put some little flowers, and I'm good to go. And I like the decorative aspect of the bullet journal. And as much as I love doodling and watercoloring and things like that, I don't want to feel like I didn't want to spend an excessive amount of time in my layout. Again, this word that keeps coming up, simplicity. So here's my 2-page spread. Again, this one is a cardstock. It is a stock photo from the internet that I got, and I just kind of tore the photo up and I spread it out, put some on this side and some on this side. And this is my what most people refer to as a brain dump. I love to call it my carpe diem or my hustle page. And hustle for me means go get it, girl. It doesn't mean rush and do as many things as you can and be efficient with your time, multitask. It doesn't mean all that. Hustle to me just means go get it, girl. What your dream is, go get it. So this is what my other people call brain dump. I will be doing later this week my flip through from October, and you'll see that I used my brain dump in a very organized fashion this past month. I was very focused. I'm kind of impressed with myself. Before I go to my next page, I just want to show and pull out my Jelly Roll 10. That is what I use to write this little quote up here that says, freedom is in the wilderness, not in civilization. And that was written with one pass. I didn't go over this multiple times. This is my favorite go-to white opaque pen. I have other Jelly Rolls in 8 and 5, and I have a fountain pen also with the Amentress. I'm sure I'm slaughtering that, name, but I have some fountain pen ink and a fountain pen with a white. The Jelly Roll 10, hands down, love it, get it. It's awesome. One pass, it wrote that. So yeah, this is my Carpe Diem, my Seize the Day. This month I have brought back tracking in little box squares. I've left space down here. This is to write a key in, because what I do is I write letters that, like a B for biking, W for walking, and H will be for hiking. Stretch and roll, I will have a Y for yoga, or I'll have MM or STR for like stretch and roll and melt method. So depending what I do, I'll put in there. And sometimes I'll write a number or miles. Like if I write a B, I might write the miles. Strength training, the same thing. So I've left space on the bottom here so I can write my key, because I'm not 100% sure how I will do my key for the strength in this. These ones I kind of know from in the past. This is a method I'm bringing back from like 2 years ago, where I did these simple boxes, and it didn't look like this exactly, but it's the same concept. I used to literally have a box that was quartered, and I had these same type of sections. Now I've just made it more of like the shape of the actual month and days, and I've left myself a little key here. So last month, what I was doing didn't work, and I decided, let's go back to basics. And to me, this is basics, because it was one of the first ways that I tracked things when I started bullet journaling. I do these little air quotes a bit. So then the last thing what I have in my setup is my weekly. I did this last month, which was the first time I ever did this. I think, well, maybe it's not the first time. Yeah, it's pretty much the first time I ever did, where what I did is I have all of my weeks for the whole month laid out. And then here will be my dailies. This will be my first day. This will be November 1st when I'm done with this video. Then I will start this, and I probably will end up doing this at night or a little bit in the afternoon and night. So that is my setup for November. And what I want to say about this setup is one of the things that I love about a Stalogy is that, or any blank notebook, is the ability for you at any time, whether it's in the middle of the month, the beginning or the end of the month, from any time from that you want to, you can change what you're doing if you have the courage to. Because if you do it in the middle of the month, you may just have to like leave something blank, and people have a problem with that. But what I often have done using these blank notebooks is every month, at the end of the month, I go over and I evaluate how the month went for me personally, but I will also evaluate how things went for me using my journal. What worked, what didn't work, what I want to keep, what I want to delete, and what I want to add and see more of. So that is why this, for me, like the calendar is great, that I'm like, I miss having some type of positive affirmation. I think generally I'm a positive person, but I think maybe why I am that way is partially can be because I do bring things into my life that to reinforce staying positive and bring in tools to help me feel empowered when I need it. So I decided to bring that back because of this, but that's one thing that's nice about a blank page, is that I could decide how I wanted to lay things out, how I wanted to use this. Did I even want to have a calendar? There's been months where I didn't do a big calendar spread like this, that maybe what I would have done is taken a small space over here and written in by hand, or created something and put it and taped it down into there, or glued it down into there. But so having blank notebook allows you to make those changes as you see fit and to customize how you have your notebook. But the downside is that it can be time consuming if you allow it to be. And even if you try to minimize it, it still can be time consuming. So that's one reason why I'm kind of looking forward, and why I'm making a switch coming up in the future to Hobonichi, because I will be having a monthly calendar layout. I will be having these weekly layouts, and I will be having the daily. I am going to be supplementing with a small Hobonichi weeks. And in that, I'm planning at this time, I'm thinking I'm going to be using that more for personal, like health and nutrition and wellness, you know, all that type of physical activities, whether it's dietary, like keeping my grocery list. But I'm planning to use my weeks for that. Maybe also I'll keep my appointments, because that's something that I foresee being used with my wallet and keeping with me all the time as my everyday carry. And I will keep my cousin Avec here at home at my desk. So I have been kind of, this layout, what you see is because I am going Hobonichi style and kind of doing a month, doing a weeks, and doing daily spreads. And it's working for me, and I'm glad that I've had these couple of months, last month, this month. I think the month before that I started trying to make Hobonichi, I think in September. But I'm glad about, for in October, I felt even more confident about that, hey, I think the switch from a Stalogy to the Hobonichi may work for me. Now, we'll see how it goes. It may turn out that it doesn't, and that's something that, you know, we'll only find out when we get there. But I'm kind of looking forward to not having to do a monthly layout or a weekly layout, to having that stuff already done for me. Where I really am wanting to do is to spend time in other areas of my life, whether that is physical wellness, emotional wellness. I'm looking at new careers since I've moved down here in Florida, and so we'll see where that leads to as well. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on. Basically, just wanted to show you my layout, and to show you that, hey, you don't need to doodle everything. It's okay to print things out, to glue and paste them in. It's okay to use stickers, and that you can make your pages work for you in the way that is best just for you. Always remember, it is your journal. So that's it. And with that, I will wish you all well. I will say, hey, because this is November 1st, just remember to get out and vote and exercise your right to vote. Yeah, that's it. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye. Just drove out to Ceylon to see this enormous live oak tree. It's got a 29-foot circumference at the base and a crown of 154 feet. 79 feet high.